Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rokwakadash. Double honors to the bishops and elders who teach and rule well. Shalom to the brothers who are exhorting, teaching, and being diligent in the gifts and callings in which you have been called to. And a shalom to the believers and the hopeful elect of the house of David who are continuing to endure these trials and tribulations as they continue to increase and strengthen. May we endure. So I want to start by bringing a precept out on endurance and go from there. And we'll see where it goes from there. Revelation 3. Start at Revelation 3, right? Revelation 3, verse 10. Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world, and try them that dwell upon the earth. And behold, I come quickly. Hold fast which thou hast, that no man take thy crown. The wisdom that we are being allotted and exercising, I pray to the full capacity and the potential that we have been given. We all have a different part to play in this body. The hopeful elect have a different part to play in the body to strengthen one another and exhort each other. For this word and this wisdom is given only unto particular men that he has chosen from out of the earth to hold diligently and carefully with truth and fear. Because as we've seen, he can grant you the opportunity to serve him and handle his word with care and reverence until you misuse and abuse that privilege. Then the wisdom is stripped from you entirely and given on to the next soldier. He has called us into his marvelous light to serve him and go through these tests and trials, to persevere and to be, hopefully to be part of that hopeful elect that gets redeemed, right? Because this world is passing away. It is, once you wake up to the false realities and he removes those scales from you and have you see this matrix for what it truly is, you understand that you are living amongst the congregations of the dead. They have no wisdom. They are dipped in sin. They can't see straight. And it doesn't matter how much you struggle to remove the scales off of someone's eyes and the cinder blocks off of someone's ears. If they are rebellious, prideful, or any of these mechanisms that are still indwelled within them, they're not going to be able to see or hear. And you will exhaust yourself to an extreme amount trying to prove that you may hold some level of wisdom and truth. You're going to exhaust yourself. So part of that endurance is to know when to hold your energy. You know, because if you keep on exhausting yourself, you're not going to have the endurance. You're probably going to forfeit and say, I just don't have what it takes to reach this particular person or people. That's not your duty. Your duty is to release a word when he tells you to release the word given upon whatever wisdom that he has bestowed upon you to see, so he can be glorified and magnified ultimately in the end, and then exonerate you You cannot exonerate yourself. Micah 7:9 says, I will bear the indignation of the Most High Yahweh until he plead my case and bring me into that light. Like Job was trying to exonerate himself, saying, I am righteous. He has removed my wisdom from me. And he pleaded the case of wicked men. So the Most High chastised him as well. We have to continue to endure and persevere and show our allegiance to He who who's caring for us so carefully in every manner, and give Him praise and thanks for everything that He has bestowed in your life. Everything. The next sip of water that you take, make sure you sip it slowly, knowing that He has allowed you to have that drop of water to sustain this vessel, because you don't have to be granted that drop of water or anything else after that. Next verse, I think I'm going to jump into I'm gonna jump into some suffering. Suffering is part of this whole ministry. With much suffering, wisdom is then given unto you. You cannot teach from a place lacking the wisdom and experience to exhort the next person. You can't teach someone how to be comforted in those moments when they lost a loved one or stripped from everything they know to bring them comfort. You can't teach on them. You can't teach on that unless you have experienced it. You can't teach on the experiences of hearts waxing cold unless you have experienced it. But through it all, in the midst of those challenges, you are being refined. You are harnessing your flesh not to react, not to let your carnal self take control in those moments. So you have to repeat the level again. So once you experience these, identify that you are in a trial. When you are in a trial, this is part of the sufferings. Just like Hamashiach Yahushai, he held his tongue and became dumb and took on those abuses, whatever trials that he was faced with. And we must adapt the same character, mannerisms, behaviors, the carnal flesh that we have in us. In this world here that we've experienced before being brought into this wisdom, we were quick to jump on you if you said anything stupid, did anything blase blase. You know what I'm talking about. That's not us no more. We want to be noble priests. We want to speak with wisdom in everything, have full control of every situation, no matter what environment we're in. We can be surrounded by a bunch of fools. Don't blend in. Don't be part of that. Reserve yourself, hold your composure, remember your discipline, and act accordingly. Walk it out with instruction as part of the sufferings. We're going to jump to Luke 21. Luke 21, beloveds. Go to 14 and 19. It says, settle it therefore in your hearts, not to meditate before what you shall answer. For I will give you a mouth and wisdom if you have the Ruach residing within you, and you can identify that a miracle is happening in the midst of everything that you are experiencing. He says not to answer. For I will give you a mouth and wisdom, which all of your adversaries shall not be able to gainsay nor resist. And ye shall be betrayed both by parents and brethren and kinsfolk and folks, and some of you shall they cause to be put to death. And ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake. He says, don't be surprised when all these things start to happen. You know, he said these things are going to happen because lawlessness and sin is going to increase. Selfishness is going to cause that individual to become more and more selfish to the point where they're going to bring themselves to destruction. Where was I going to read to? Okay, 19. And ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake. Praise be unto the Most High Yahweh. But there shall not a hair of your head perish. In your souls possess ye your, in your patience possess ye your soul. So as I brought out the first scripture where he says, I will keep you from the hour of temptation because you have kept the word of my patience. Remember these things when pressure starts to come and build up and build up and build up. Just know that you're in an artificial world. It's an artificial world. Not everybody is, what's the term? An NPC. A non-playable character. And if you can identify that these vessels fit for destructions and we're not, Abaratazah, then you know not to engage in certain situations having your flesh pulled out, because the flesh doesn't inherit the kingdom. You know, you can't be a person that's quick to fly off the handle. You can't be in your carnal mind having all these degenerate thoughts, hate, because if you're connected to the source, he knows exactly what you're thinking. He knows what you're going to think before you think it. And then the moment that thought or any of these combination of thoughts intrude into your mind, hold them captive, destroy it, rebuke it, and ask for him to replace them with pure thoughts. Go right into the scripture, go right into praise, run back to it. If you start to entertain a thought for too long, you're being drawn away. Come back quick. Hold your post. Hold your post. You don't know what part of that defense that surrounds the sheep you hold. You have to hold that line. You have to be the gate, the gatekeeper, that nothing enters in. Are you strong enough to push back against evil and lies and darkness? Can you be a good soldier and endure? What kind of temperament do you have? He's going to really test the metal. Make sure you're strong and gold. So endure. 1 Peter 4. Thank you, Abaya. First Peter 4, verse 12. Verse 12 to 19. Verse 12 to 19. Beloved, think it not strange concerning the fiery trial, which is to try you, as though some strange thing happened to you. Oh no, why is this happening to me? I don't have any money for today. I don't have my usual resources. This and that. The pipes burst. Whatever. Remember to hold the line and not get reactive. Be graceful about what situations that you are experiencing. Be graceful. Think of it like this, right? Say behind you, you have a lot of children, 20 of them. Let's say it's that many. Age range from 2 to 8, 9 years old. You got them group of kids behind you. Something turbulent happens. Something happens that disturbs the entire flock that you have. And you go into an uproar, spin off your course. What do you think that reaction is going to be from them when they see their shepherd do that? They're going to scatter. This man don't got it together. He ain't got the wisdom to keep us safe. and give us wisdom and lead us out of darkness. Hold your composure, endure, do it elegantly. Do it elegantly. Verse 13, but rejoice in so much as ye are partakers in Hamashiach Yahushai's sufferings, that when his glory shall be revealed, you may be glad also with exceeding joy. That's that crown. You're getting the crown. You're getting the wisdom to understand the situations and the trials that you are put in, to be refined, to put on those garments little by little. There's a lot of layers of those righteous garments. You got to put them on like badges of honor. Boop, 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 boop. Right? 14. Hold on. Yeah. 14. If ye be reproached for the name of Hamashiach, happy are you. For the spirit and glory of Yahweh resteth upon you. On their part he is evil spoken of, but on your part he is glorified. But let none of you suffer as a murderer, or as a thief, or as an evildoer, or as a busybody in other man's matters. You got to remain blameless. So as we continue to endure and practice these righteous rehearsals, you have to always keep a steady mind that the enemy does not rest. He's looking for every opportunity to cause you to misstep and lose focus. You're being graded on how well you can persevere. So remember, don't be guilty in the midst of those trials. He says you will be glorified. You will be glorified in the end if you continue to persevere. Verse 16 of 1 Peter chapter 4 says, if any man suffer as a Christian or a true believer, let him not be ashamed, but let him glorify Yahweh on this behalf. For the time is come that judgment must begin at the house of Yahweh. And if it first begin with us, what shall the end be of them that obey not the gospel of Yahweh? So a faith boost in the midst of trials is knowing the latter end. Even if these whoever don't receive you, just remember their latter end and remember your own. We didn't make it on the chariots yet. How about Ratazah? We do. We get to pilot our own. We get to sing psalms and laugh and cry and be with our Messiah, Yahushai. And if the righteous scarcely be saved, scarcely, where shall the ungodly and the sinner appear? That's a question. Right? What was I going to read to? I guess I got all the way to 19. But sanctify Yahweh in your hearts, and be ready always to give an answer to every man that asketh you a reason of the hope that is in you with meekness and fear. They're going to be asking for your wisdom and your understanding. They're going to want to know why you have a steady pace while going through all these different scenarios, as to where some men will just drop the plow, skate off, do something that's comfortable, and not continue to endure. Others are going to be looking for the comfort that you have in you, the hope, having a good conscience, that whereas they speak evil of you as of evildoers, they may be ashamed that falsely accuse your good conversation in Hamashiach. For it is better, if the will of Yahweh be so, that's his will, that ye suffer for well-doing than for evil-doing. We are not of this world. This world, everyone that is part of the world, they fit in. They fit in. They want to fit in. They're doing everything to fit in a place that's crumbling. They're trying to build themselves up and continue to plug into a system and developing themselves to stay plugged in. That's not the heart posture of a true follower of Yahweh Shai, knowing the scriptures. If you know him and you trust him, then you know what your heart posture should be. It shouldn't be anything other than that. Let me tell you, it shouldn't be. You need to be faced east spiritually, not north. That makes sense to you. For it is better if the will of Yahweh be. Verse 18, for Hamashiach also hath once suffered for sins, the just for the unjust, that he might bring us to Yahweh, being put to death in the flesh, but quickened by the Spirit. Yahweh Shai subdued his flesh, even in the midst of persecutions. They hated him. They say they love him. Everybody says they love him. But they can't see. They can't see what's in front of them. They're not supposed to. Because it's a test of heart posture and obedience, and to really examine what is really in that person's heart. What kind of spirit is in that heart? Damn, I only went through 2 verses. Verse 19, by which also he went and preached unto the spirits in prison, which sometime were disobedient, when once the long suffering of Yahweh waited in the days of Noah, while the ark was preparing, wherein few, that is 8 souls, were saved by water. So if you were touched by the Most High Yahweh and having Yahweh Shai intercede on your behalf to find you capable of receiving this word, this water, we're supposed to give every person that he has put in front of us to receive this water, to drink it, to see if they're able to ingest it, so they can come onto the ark for salvation. And to have that ability to release prisoners and endure long suffering, to remove scales, to heal them, lest they repent and not become rebellious to pull away the shoulder. There could be an opportunity to rescue that soul. I'm not going to make this very long lesson. I'll probably pick this up and continue this on another day or something. But I just want to encourage brothers to continue to endure and persevere and have joy in it, because not everybody gets to experience what we get to experience, even though in the midst of trials they're not so fun. They're not so fun. But just think about Yahweh Shai. Think about how he was slumped over crying with no one there to comfort him. Everybody just hated everything he had to say. They couldn't take the brass balls that he had and say, you know, I think what you're saying is truth. But we feel more comfortable living in our lie, Yahweh Shai. It feels better to just get along and to be part of something here. It feels good to our flesh that we're not offending no one, and we're just going along to get along. Yahweh Shai, I'm sorry that you see life this way, but come on, brother, get it together. You don't have to be a shut-in. You don't have to be so set apart. Come on, let your guard down. Join us. You know, we're being blessed. We got the comforts of everything we need. We don't need to suffer anything. We just obey. Mm-hmm. Beloved brothers, continue to endure. Ahanya habata, barakatam, barakatat to you and your household. May this lesson be edifying to whomever needs to hear it. And I will pick this back up, maybe make this a part 2 or something, because I think suffering will ultimately showcase what a true soldier is and will become in the Lord's army. This ain't for the weak. You want weakness? Go to church out there. You want to feel good? Go get drunk somewhere. Go drink the wise and the wine and the abominations of these other feel good shepherds out there. Let them lie to you. Let them lie to you. You want to eat lies? Go and eat lies. Go. It's gonna make you feel good. It's gonna feel comforting. It's gonna set the tone for your entire week. Man, I feel great. Yes. What Pastor so-and-so said, it's right. We should all come together and just love on each other. Yeah, you're going to be a pile of burning sticks. Till the next time. Shalom.